So why I don't animate anymore, this is a longer tangent than the TikTok version or the YouTube Shorts version. So if you really want to animate and if you love it, go for it, because it's really fun and it's really mostly getting a lot of likes and views on the internet. Usually the worst thing that could happen is that it doesn't get any recognition. That's when it really stinks, because the effort you actually put into an animation is high if you want it to be decent. If you want it to be an anime level animation, that will require a lot of effort on your part, a lot of learning too, because you have to actually study how 2D animation works. So first thing, it takes too much time. If you really want to do like these Sakuga animated animations, the one your favorite anime has, that takes a lot of effort for a single person, because usually it's team behind it. You know, Demon Slayer, for example, the animation studio is filled with thousands of people going over these scenes. Even though it's done by one storyboard artist or like a couple, but I think it's mostly just one person, it really is difficult. The line art, then the process after it, and so on and so on. These people even have multiple do-overs. I don't know how you call it in Japanese, but I think some insiders even, like, usually you have the storyboard, then after the storyboard you have the in-betweens, and after the in-betweens you have inking and coloring and so on. These people have a storyboard of their storyboards, like they do it 2 times and then they do the in-between. Like they do really good and known animators. I don't know, I could name some, but I don't know them myself right now, but I know their animation style. These people go over this stuff all the time, multiple times. It takes months to finish. Alright, it takes way too long. The process is literally unbearable. Alright, if you want to animate a sequence, be ready to put in a 1 week effort just to get out seconds of movement. That's really, like, only the toughest people can manage this as a living in an industry, in a studio. First, it's like modular sketching. That's like the most fun you will have. It's like the roughest sketch, the roughest storyboard you will do. It's the fun part. It's where the thing comes to be at first. You fantasize, you put it together, and you realize the thing you wanna do. It's when no character has an identifiable characteristic and everything just looks like a 3D modeling studio, but you already put your ideas into it. And then the in-betweening comes. It's also the fun part, the part I was talking about, like the in-between sketches. It's more for reassurance, and I don't know if cartoons have it in the Western American animation studios, but to be really reassured, you need these. You need to sketch your sketching, and you have to do the in-betweens. And then comes the inking. Oh lord, the inking part is actual torture. It's like the 3rd time you go over your project. Alright, imagine 5 minutes of animation. I don't even want to imagine how much frames these are, but if it's like permanent fighting, like unfinished fighting all the time, you gotta be ready to crunch those hours until the end, until the week. Why do you think these Japanese animators just live in their studios? Do you think they do it for fun? Do they like torturing themselves? Of course not. It takes a lot of effort. You ink it, and that's not the end. You have to ink the in-betweens as well. And this is just character, right? We talk about character animation. Imagine the backgrounding, guys. All these backgrounds, they do have tricks to put as low effort as possible and make it seem decent, but that also takes a lot of time. And then you have the in-between the inks, and then you have to color. I mean, color is also fun, but it is repetitive back and forth. You have to color the frames before, you have to color each frame with your hand. These people like flick like hotkeys, switch back and forth the whole time. I do it too, just to finish it in time. And then they have to shade, like they have to go over the same animation they did 6 times. I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They have to go over 6 times for the characters. Now imagine backgrounding. That takes a lot of freaking time. For what? 5-minute animations, not even. like high quality animations, it would take months, literally months, sitting on your desk working. It's like full-time job. I don't want to like compare it to any other work or professions, but can you bear waking up, animating, going over the same project over and over and over and over again? Making manga is like the same thing, but you finish more content in the same time spectrum than doing animations. Animations are more like spectacular, explosive, beautiful showcasing, like film motion. It's like literally that. And manga is more like picturesque. It's an art. No, I wouldn't call it art. Both of these are art forms, but it's like more like pictures. The frames you can just look at an AVE. It just, I don't know. It's more. A single person could finish a whole manga series way more realistically than animating it. Alright, that's, you will be 80 before you finish even like, how can I say it, 3 plot points. Anyways, and the worst of all, let's say you're still like an amateur or you're even good, the chance that you're being recognized, very low. There are so good artists, there are like so many talented people unrecognized, like so many people I've seen on TikTok, I've seen it on Instagram, so many people trying to be seen, and you can't just apply to the studios, they mostly scout out. And what are the chances that you're being seen? And now you put all this effort, and let's say you learned it for years, self-taught for example, or you even went to a university to learn this by professional people, and the chance that you're being seen being so low, guys, it's really a gamble. I mean, yeah, everything is a gamble in an artistic field, sure, but I think 2D animations are by far the hardest and most like quality to effort ratio, you know, or like quantity to quality ratio. It's like the highest of all things I've ever seen. Creating a painting, in perspective, is like the easiest, and because you finish one painting, if it's just one painting. In manga you finish like a one shot 60 pages, and for an animation the same time effort, even more, for like a minute. That's crazy. That's literally insanity. And with me, I did like these advertising, commercialized animations just to funnel people to my manga, because I can do both, but I really prioritize my manga more because it's just the universe of the plot I'm creating. And somehow, on TikTok at least, the people like my character, my persona more than what I actually tried to advertise. People didn't even read the comics. It's probably most likely because the content itself, I would say, I don't know, it was kind of weird. People just compared me to already established characters. It's just the first thing they recognize it as was, I don't know, Samsonite. I don't even know who these characters are. I know Sans from Undertale. I know that he's like the most famous thing I've been compared to, but Samsonite also kind of weird. Anyways, oh yeah. My creative universe has to be made a manga. It's just way too big, way too long, and way too complicated to be made in an animation. Like a fighting scene, there are like multiple fighting scenes. A fighting scene I could lay out in like one chapter, right? And the whole fight would be over. In an animation, I would take half a year and the fight would be halfway, because either I would put too much twists, too many sick ass moves just to make it seem more cooler. And in manga you're like limited. The more you do, the more twists you create, the longer the pages go on. Yeah. Making manga takes less time, as I said. The output is way higher in art quality. Like you can draw like sick ass panels over and over again. But animations, like every frame has to be somewhat okay and decent. In manga that's not the case. Some pages have to have more quality than the others. Fighting pages or fighting panels have to be less quality, because for example when movement is involved, the less detailed it is, the sharper and more impressive the speed looked, for example. And yeah, and the format itself makes it really possible to be a singular task, right? That gives you free reign, for me at least, or for everybody. That's why creating manga is like the singular titan task, if you want to tell a story, but it is manageable. It is actually doable. Animation is not doable. In animation, you have to have people, you have to have a studio, you have to have actual people going back and forth. You can't, you can try it for yourself. I will tell you, if you are a perfectionist, that's impossible. You will never finish it. It will burn you out before you even finish one animation. Yeah, TLDR, if you even came this far. Animating sucks. I think everybody knows that. That's why a lot of people don't even try it, or try it once and give up instantly, because it just takes too much time. Ever since I was a kid, the people who still stick to this day, even my oldest videos, they're like stick figures and stick figure animations, the old stuff. And back then I knew for a fact I could never do this shit as a living. I was like, alright, a day is over, second day is over, and I'm like still on 12 seconds. And I was like, dude, I put in 3 days of effort. I was still a kid back then, right? But I put 3 days effort into this silly, shitty, ridiculous animation. Like 3 days went over for 12 seconds. This is crazy. I don't even know how these animation giants pushed through. Of course they had a team, but for example, Hayao Miyazaki definitely had a smaller team, and they finished movies, guys. They didn't finish 5-second short movies, they finished whole ass hours, and the quality is astonishing. And they had like a small team. They had a tiny team to make this possible. At the first times, I don't know, was it Spirited Away or Totoro? I think it was Totoro the first that kicked through. They had like a small team. They didn't have this whole business. The film kick-started the business, but before that they pushed through. They actually lived the animation. It's really ridiculous if you think about it. Imagine you're applying to a job you hate, for example, but these people loved it. That's why their passion actually pushed them this far. But you would never do this for an industry or for a work space you hate. I don't know, I just love these people, like their passions literally burning them alive. It's like really, I have like the highest respect for these people, right? It's not about money. Profit. How much margins did we make? It's not like that. For them it was, what's the next movie to do? What could we change in our projects and like the movies, anime movies? It's like crazy. I really love these attitudes towards creativity. But these attitudes are also the cause why a lot of companies die out. Let's look at it realistically. We're in a capitalist system. Companies can't stagnate. They have to make profit. That's why MAPPA and all. I don't even want to start about it. It's like why businesses and all these publishing companies, even in Japan, mostly in Japan, because they realized manga and anime, these people are just leaning to trends, most likely, more isekais, more things that sell. And since people stick to the literally familiar, I already talked about this, it's like a back and forth cycle, right? What was it? Demand and what? It has like questioning and demand, something like this. If you want something, you get it. But it's so weird. It's like a back and forth cycle to oblivion, to literally stagnation. Nothing out of the box could be created. Even I can possibly go only onto the edge of the box itself. I can't go out of the box, because if I created something crazy, it's way too risky, and I don't know, it wouldn't even be my artistic voice. But I just went on to tangent. Anyways, I used animation as an advertising tactic to funnel it into my own manga. Be really mindful about this, because I experienced it firsthand. If you're own character, your mascot. Like, it's literally my mascot, right? Key Legger, this little white cat with the black bluish cap. It's like I make my own persona. If this thing gets more famous than what you actually want to create, it's over. People follow you, but they follow you for the animations. Either you have to be really patient to convert them into your manga site or your manga Patreon site, I think. But if you want to advertise it, it's not a good idea. Just show your manga. That's the best you can do. Show the manga to your people, to the people in the world. Unless you make like these animatics, like they're just storyboards, but way worse, like pictures. People nowadays call pictures animations. I don't know, it has to be fluent, guys. You can't just put in like storyboards out there and just call them animations. That's not how it works. Anyways, you can do like your animatics, your edited manga pages. These are really recommended. The less effort you put in and the more quality like it seems, the better. Anyways, I want to talk about this because it's been plaguing my mind, and maybe somebody out there who's just like me will see value in this little talk. If you want to read Motus, the thing I'm working on daily, this action shonen, battle manga, mystery, psychology, or even meaning of life, philosophical, blah blah blah. It's linked in my description, of course, link in my bio. Read through it, and the future chapters will be free to read in the coming future. And yeah, follow and subscribe, and see you guys next talk.